You know that feeling when your mind won't stop and everyone tells you you're overthinking? What if they're wrong? What if what you're doing isn't thinking at all? It's something else, something that doesn't even feel like a problem when it's happening. And what if the reason it never stops is because you're not supposed to stop it? What if the thing people call overthinking isn't actually thinking at all? What if it's something else, something quieter? Something that doesn't feel like a problem when it's happening. People say they overthink. They say their mind won't stop. They describe it as spinning, spiraling, running in circles. But when you listen closely, what they're describing isn't deep thought. It's not analysis. It's not even worry exactly. It's monitoring. They're checking, scanning, keeping tabs, running a low-level background process that never fully shuts down. And here's the thing about monitoring. It doesn't feel anxious. It feels responsible. When you're monitoring, you're being careful. You're staying on top of things. You're making sure nothing falls through the cracks. It's not frantic. It's not dramatic. It's just a quiet hum in the back of your mind that says, don't forget, keep an eye on this. Make sure you're ready. It feels like the opposite of carelessness. It feels like paying attention. So it keeps running because modern life rarely provides closure. Tasks don't finish cleanly. Decisions don't resolve. Conversations don't end. Everything stays open just a little bit. You send an email. You're waiting for a response. You have a meeting scheduled. You need to remember to follow up. Someone said they get back to you. You're supposed to decide about something by Friday. There's a bill that hasn't been paid yet, a message you need to reply to, a thing you said that might have been misunderstood. None of these things are urgent. None of them are crises, but they're all open. And your mind treats open things like active things. It doesn't distinguish between something you need to do right now and something you need to remember exists. It just keeps them all running, keeps checking in, keeps making sure you haven't forgotten. This is not the same as thinking. Thinking is when you take something and turn it over, when you consider it from different angles, when you let an idea sit and see what it reveals. Thinking has depth. It has focus. It moves somewhere. Monitoring is flat. It's repetitive. It scans the same surfaces over and over. It doesn't go deeper. It just circles back, checks again, confirms, rechecks. The difference is like the difference between reading a book and glancing at your phone every 2 minutes to see if anything changed. One moves forward, the other just refreshes. But monitoring doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel like a problem. It feels like being on top of things, like being prepared, like being a person who doesn't let things slip until you notice that you can't focus on anything for more than a few minutes, until you realize you've been sitting at your desk for an hour and you don't remember what you were supposed to be doing, until you notice that even when you're resting, you're not resting. You're just scanning, checking, making sure. Because monitoring runs in the background. It doesn't take over. It just runs underneath everything else. While you're working, while you're talking, while you're supposed to be relaxing, it's always there. Quiet, persistent, ready to jump in the moment something shifts. And the more things stay open, the more there is to monitor. The more decisions you're holding in limbo, the more tasks you're keeping half started, the more conversations you're leaving unresolved. Each one adds to the load, not in a way that feels heavy, just in a way that keeps the system running. You can't rest because rest would mean letting something go unwatched. You can't focus because focus would mean ignoring the other things that are still open. You can't stop checking because what if you miss something? So the monitoring continues. And it's exhausting in a way that doesn't feel like exhaustion. It just feels like how things are, like the normal state of being an adult, like what it means to be responsible. But maybe it's not a flaw. Maybe it's not even a mistake. Maybe it's just what happens when you're trying to stay functional in a system that never actually closes anything. A system where everything is always half finished, where every task has a dependency, where every decision has a follow-up, where nothing is ever truly done. Maybe monitoring is an adaptation, a way of managing the fact that there's too much to hold and no clear signal for when you're allowed to let go. Maybe the mind isn't broken. Maybe it's just doing exactly what it was asked to do. Stay ready, stay aware. Don't drop anything. The question isn't whether you're overthinking. The question is, what are you still holding open that you think you're not allowed to close? If this felt familiar, you're not alone in noticing it. I make videos about patterns like this, things people experience but don't always have words for. If you want more of that, subscribe. No advice, no fixes, just observations. I'll see you in the next one.